Scarborough.
And I'm Natalie Pasquarella. The first major step forward in the reopening of New York City schools, online orientation has started.
And it didn't go entirely smoothly. Inside thousands of New York City homes, students in front of their computer screens, outside closed school buildings, teachers protesting what they say is insufficient protection from the pandemic.
News 4's Andrew Siff is live tonight in Jackson Heights, Queens, with the kinks that really still need to be worked out here, Andrew.
Well, there's a lot of anxiety with only 5 days to go. There was the orientation for online learning today. That means students got to meet their teachers live from home on their laptops and iPads. But that live instruction is going away after a staffing crisis. The city admitted they were just running out of time. Students on their laptops 5 days before in-person learning.
I'm feeling a little bit uncertain about sending him back to school.
Are we ready to open on Monday? No!
Teachers on the sidewalks, far from reassured the buildings they're assigned have ventilation to protect them from COVID. Today they marched on the Lower East Side, in Jackson Heights, and on the Upper East Side outside Hunter High School.
We still don't have an independent assessment of the building.
If any classroom is not up to snuff, it'll be taken out of circulation immediately.
Today I asked the mayor about a last-minute staffing change after the principals union again warned far too many schools still do not have enough teachers. City Hall backed off its promise that remote learning would feature live instruction.
So I'm wondering what you say to parents who had been told you'll get live instruction every single day and have now been told maybe not.
It's not static, Andrew. It's not like what happens on the first day. By the way, this is true in a typical school year. What happens the first day is not the same as how things are 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks later.
But the teachers union continues to say if they're not satisfied by Monday, they won't allow the schools to open, while the chancellor preached patience with a plan formed amidst a citywide crisis.
As we look at the first day and know that we're working through some of these staffing challenges, we're being honest with the public. Nobody's hiding anything here. So you're almost darned if you do and darned if you don't.
The staffing challenge, an understatement. The mayor provided 2,000 additional teachers to all the schools this week. The principals union said they needed about 10,000 extra teachers in order to do both remote learning and in classroom, which is still scheduled to start on Monday. Live in Queens, Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
Right, still a lot to work out there, Andrew. Thanks for the latest there. And the mayor is taking a new step forward to help the city as it's facing a $9 billion budget shortfall. Today, Mayor de Blasio announcing that he and about 500 other city employees will take 1 week unpaid furloughs. Those furloughs start next month. The move will only save about $860,000, but the mayor says this has to be done. The mayor said that he will work during his furlough, but other city employees are not expected to do the same.
Well, paying more for indoor service, the possible new reality as city restaurants struggling to survive COVID limits get the okay to add an extra charge to your check. The city council approved a COVID surcharge of 10% on indoor dining bills. But as News 4's Gabi Acevedo shows us, restaurateurs are not convinced this is going to help them.
Restaurant owners like Scott Giunta are confused by the city council's new 10% surcharge on indoor dining.
I think they're chasing people away from restaurants instead of enticing them and pulling them into restaurants to try and, create more business.
Scott is convinced the extra fee will drive away some customers and negatively impact his waitstaff.
Instead of having a tip on a $100 check, we'll have a tip on a $20 check, so he loses.
Spencer Kosterinsky thinks it's a good way for customers to lend a hand to local businesses as long as they're aware of the additional fee.
As long as I knew about it beforehand, if I saw it after the fact without knowing about it, then it would make me a little upset.
Council member Joseph Borelli sponsored the bill. He believes the surcharge is a better alternative than raising the price of meals.
This cost will come off 90 days after the restaurant capacity limits have ended.
Borelli believes the extra money collected could be a lifeline used to support restaurant staff through this pandemic.
Use it to add a surcharge for their kitchen staff, to add a surcharge for healthcare premiums or paid sick leave funds for their employees.
Reporting from Greenwich Village, Gabi Acevedo, News 4 New York.